Well, we're talking about how on the front lines of the coronavirus, they're facing a massive shortage of medical supplies. But you know what? One local spirits distillery is actually coming to the rescue. I'm Jen Richer, and you're in the reaction zone. And it is not bringing their world-class hooch to our doctors and nurses. They're actually diversifying their business a little bit. And here to talk about that is their CEO and co-founder of MurLarkey Distillery, Tom Murray. Hey, Tom, how did you decide to get into this venture?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying diversifying, although that is the correct word, I guess. I mean, this was just kind of an emergency reaction to the situation and the demand put on us by our local community. So, long story short, we make premium spirits, as you mentioned, and we have the wherewithal to make high-proof ethanol, alcohol. So we decided to try to help the effort in this war on coronavirus by making hand sanitizer. And that's what we are switching gears to ramp up right now. Originally, the idea was just to help out our individuals in our community by handing out, some refills for their existing Purell or Germ-X bottles or what have you. But as soon as we mentioned that on our social media and our website, we were surprised and, frankly, a little dismayed to realize the overwhelming demand for this hand sanitizer in bulk to our emergency responder and first responder unit community. So we quickly did the math and determined how much we can possibly make and what that schedule would look like, and basically forced us to temporarily change gears from a premium spirits manufacturer to a hand sanitizer manufacturer.
Tom, that's brilliant, especially when you see the president's task force come on every day saying that, they're short on supplies. They're trying to figure out how to get supplies to our first responders. And then you see on the internet, if you try to buy hand sanitizer, people are jacking up the prices. And here you are, you've got the equipment. What was the light bulb moment where you're like, oh, my goodness, we can totally do this for everybody?
Well, so leading up to this, we were using our 130, 140 proof alcohol just in its raw form as a spray disinfectant on our tables and all of our contact surfaces, and it works perfectly for that. In fact, in the alcohol manufacturing process, any distiller will tell you that there's three phases to that. There's the heads or foreshots, and then there's the heart of the cut, and then there's the tails. Now, typically in alcohol manufacturing for potable spirits, you only use the heart of the cut and a little bit of the tails if you're making whiskey, so it has some character. But you never use the heads. The heads are where methanol lives and the other poisons. So those are non-potable, of course. But they do make an excellent cleaning solvent and sanitizer, and we've been using those because we're a green company. We've been using those as a cleaning solvent for quite some time to clean our equipment. So we started bottling those in the early stages of this crisis and using it as a disinfectant on our tables and on our point of sale system. So people have to touch that. Anything people have to touch, we were using it as sort of a spritz solvent, and it works very well. So that's kind of where it started, and then people started requesting bottles of that, but that quickly evolved into the hand sanitizer when the TTB, which is the Tax and Trade Bureau, and that governs us on a federal level, and the World Health Organization teamed up essentially and provided guidance to craft distillers that want to make hand sanitizer based on the overwhelming demand in the market right now. And when they did that, they issued to us a strict formula that we have to adhere to make the hand sanitizer. So it went from a liquid-based spritz to the gel that we're all accustomed to in the Purell and the Germ-X, et cetera. And the way that occurred is they required us to use glycerin and hydrogen peroxide in addition to the high-proof spirit, which creates that jelly hand sanitizer. So that was kind of the evolution of it. And last week is kind of when the light bulb went off in the sense that when we put the word out that we were going to try and start making some hand sanitizer, again, initially just to satisfy our patrons and help them out because, as you pointed out, they can't find it anywhere. We were surprised by the demand that we were getting from large organizations, mainly county and municipal governments and their first responder units. So that forced us to reevaluate, geez, how much of this can we make and how quickly can we make it? Because we had no understanding of the demand for this product until we started getting those calls.
Well, Tom, I'm going to follow up on that question then. How much of it can you make and how fast can you make it?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. The raw materials required, of course, we make the booze, so to speak, the alcohol, but the raw materials required are the glycerin and the hydrogen peroxide, which are in shortage right now. I don't think we're alone in this effort. I think when TTB and WHO gave the green light to craft distillers, there was a rush, so to speak, on hydrogen peroxide in bulk and glycerin in bulk. We have been successful in securing some, and we've been successful with the cooperation of our county, of Prince William County. They actually delivered to us some 3% hydrogen peroxide yesterday, which is wonderful. So it's a constant logistical struggle to continue to maintain our supply chain in this environment because one day they have it, the next day they don't. No different than the shelves at Costco or Safeway. Just in larger quantities. So we don't really know, to be perfectly honest with you, how much we're going to be able to manufacture because we don't know what the supply chain is going to be like in the long term.
And where do you get your hands on some MurLarkey hand sanitizer if you wanted to get some?
Well, right now we're shifting gears primarily to satisfy these bulk orders because these are the first responders. These are the frontline troops that are in desperate need of this. So we set up a hotline, so to speak. It's bulk, BULK, .request at MurLarkey, MurLarkey.com. And we're taking the bulk requests from the municipalities, first responders, medical professional units, hospitals, and so forth. These are entities that are looking for, 200 gallons of hand sanitizer at a time, and then they can refill their own individual containers. As far as individuals go and our individual patrons, community goodwill, we are supplying that on a limited basis as we can at the distillery during normal operating hours, and we're providing it in Ziploc baggies. So people can come by and grab a 12-ounce Ziploc baggie of hand sanitizer, MurLarkey's finest, and they can bring that home, cut the corner of it, and squirt it into their existing Purell or Germex bottle, what have you. It's just basically a quick and easy way for us to get them a refill. Now, we're going to be doing that starting this coming Wednesday. So day after tomorrow, we should have a decent supply on a first-come, first-served basis for individuals that just need a 12-ounce refill for home use.
And what does this mean for you guys, Tom? I know you're a small business. You're out in Bristow, Virginia, out by Jiffy Lube Live. And I'm wondering, as there's so much uncertainty around small businesses right now, to have kind of a repurpose during the coronavirus, what does this mean for you guys?
Well, we don't plan on being a hand sanitizer company, I can tell you that. and it brings a tear to my eyes to see our international San Francisco World Spirits Competition gold medal winning alcohol being used for hand sanitizer. But it's the right thing to do in the middle of this crisis, and we're going to do it for as long as we need to do it.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you can be a resource in the community, especially when things are so crazy. And then hopefully when everything's back to normal and we've got everything we need, you guys can go back to making some of that fine spirits that you guys are good at. So I appreciate you taking the time, Tom. I know you guys are really busy right now.
Thank you very much. Be safe, everyone. We'll get through this all together.